Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to teach you how to unclog your sublimation printer. Please don't throw it away. Don't buy another one. I promise you this will help you. These are the steps I take and the material I use. So let's jump right into it. So the first thing you're going to do, even if it's been sitting for a very long time, which mine has, please don't skip any of these steps. Watch it fully and then do it yourself. I have learned from various things and this is what works for me. So it was dusty because it was outside. So once I print out that nozzle check, I'm going to be using the syringe. It's any plain syringe that you can buy at Walmart or Amazon. I have the link in the description down below. Very important with your scissors, you have to cut it at an angle or else it won't go through the little tubes, which you will see right now. And this is how it's going to look. See how it's cut to the side. So I'm showing you an up close of how you would access the nozzle check. It's in maintenance. Click until it prints out and see what colors are showing. Even sometimes when those colors show, they're not going to show because that was the ink that was inside the little chip. And you'll see that in a moment. So it's just so you can see where you're at with your printer. But if it's been sitting there for a very long time, you're going to have to clean them all. So go ahead and turn it off. So I just take off the power outlet and you're going to have to open through this, you have to lift, not that one, but where the buttons are at, there's a little like opening and you'll see it. I didn't record that because trust me, it's very difficult, but see how I opened that? Then it's going to lift, but you need to remove these two screws because you need to access the whole ink section, and it's these two screws. So there's one there, and then the second one I took it off camera, and that was the second one, and that's how you have access completely. I use a straw to hold it. You can use a stick, you have to do it con maña. These are what you're going to be unclogging. It's very important that you go one by one and you don't remove anything else. The screws, put them to the side. You won't lose them. You do need a napkin, the syringe. You can use 4 syringes for each color. I use one and just wash it. So what I do first is I take off this plastic thing. Do not remove it. Do not throw away. It's very important. This is what prevents all the wires going everywhere when it's printing. So just put it to the side. And the first one is the black. So remove it. Put it on there on the paper, and then you're gonna wiggle this nozzle inside. It won't go in like butter. You have to like literally wiggle it inside. Be patient. You're not in a rush. It's not a problem. If it's been sitting there for a long time, sis, then you can be patient about it. It doesn't have to be inserted all the way in, but enough where you're gonna be pulling the syringe back and forth, because what you're trying to do is unclog that ink that's been sitting there, because since these printers they're not professional sublimation printers per se, because the professional ones, they unclog every couple hours by themselves, and this one, if you're not printing, it's going to clog, unfortunately. So it's important to print once a week or every 2 times, and I'll explain that more in detail at the end. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be pushing the syringe back and forth. What you're looking for is that when you pull that syringe, the ink is going to flow. Because when you pay attention to when you pull that syringe the first time, nothing's going to come out. But it's because that ink is just stuck at the, at where the tube is at. So I like doing 4 pulls for the best results. And then once it starts coming in and out the flow, then you're going to connect it back in. And you're not done there. So don't clean your syringe or move on to the next one. You're going to have to pull it from the bottom. And I skipped the black one just to show you an example how it didn't unclog. So this is the black one. I already washed my syringe. I'm going to unclog the yellow one fully how you're supposed to do. So if you skip the second step, and I just skipped the black one, so just as a reference how it's not going to work completely. So pay close attention to this part. This is exactly how you have to do all the colors. So squeeze your little tube in, make sure you wash it thoroughly and there's no, black or any other color in the syringe, because if not, you're going to mix that inside any other color and it's just not going to be its full yellow, if that makes sense. And we don't want to do that, right? Okay, so like I mentioned, I like doing 4 pumps here. See how when I pull it, it kind of takes a long time, but now after that, I'm pulling the 2, 3, 4 times. It's just sucking it right out. So now I'm going to put that right in, and this is that second part you would be doing, is you're going to be pulling it from inside. I know this part probably doesn't seem essential, but sometimes that ink is dried and you'll see how it's empty, and as soon as I pull it, you can see how it's coming right back into the cartridge. So I'm going to do that again. I like doing 3 to 4 pumps. You can do as many as you think. The bubbles doesn't really matter as much. However, the less bubbles you can do, of course, the better. So sometimes I even will pull it until I see less bubbles, and I'll just toss that ink in the ground or whatever. But yeah, that's basically what you have to do to all the colors. Go one at a time. Don't pull them all out. Don't tangle these. How you pull them in is how you pull them. You're going to have to place them back in. It will click inside. Don't force them inside. If you do, you can break them. If you break them, it's more difficult. I'm showing you here how I clean the syringe. It doesn't really take much, but I make sure everything's just completely out. I'll take it apart if I have to, as seen here, but just make sure there's no leftover ink. If you want to get 4 syringes for it, go for it. I myself would get confused. The color that clogs the most will be your black and your blue, which is cyan. I don't know why, but it just does happen. Magenta is the dirtiest, but so is the blue. I mean, they all are in general. But don't worry about getting messy or any of that. Or even if you pull it and you see that it's ink, I will still go ahead and do the same process to each and every one, because it has happened where I'll do a nozzle check and I'm like, oh, perfect, my magenta has printed perfectly and so did my yellow, and as it's, I only cleaned the black and the blue, and as I'm doing the purge prints and all that, it doesn't come out right. And I didn't test the yellow or the magenta, so then I just wasted into the power maintenance and all these other things that you have to do after you clean these. So don't skip that step. If you're already doing one, just do all 4. It doesn't take that much of a time. Remember, if you're gonna do this, set time aside, because it's going to take at least 24 hours, because you will have to let this setting, and you'll see that now. You can fast forward, but I'm just going to show you how I clean each and every one. I'm not skipping a step. But make sure, if you do fast forward, for you to check the part where I put each one back. And by that, I mean like the little tubes that they're lined up, and how I put that little plastic back on there too. Because if you leave that or they're tangled up, at the moment you're going to print, this machine goes by fast, because at the end of the day, it is a machine, and it will tangle up and it can break or rip, or, ink will go over it and then it will be ruined. So practice, patience, and you'll get over this. I have cleaned this machine 4 times already, okay? This is my 4th time cleaning it. It's gotten to the point where I just wanted to throw it away, but Sublimation has such a big, wide variety of things that you can do as a small business. And if you already own a printer and all you have to do is unclog it because it has the ink, then I highly recommend you do that. And for you to print, and I provide these for free, the link is down below. I want you guys to print. If you don't regularly sublimate yet, at least print once a week. And once you do the once a week, then, for the next month, do twice. Once every 2 weeks, and so on and so forth. But don't stop printing it because, oh, it's been a week. Oh, it's been 2 weeks. It's been 3 weeks. Don't do that, because this is annoying. I unclogged this printer already 5 times and I'm already annoyed about it. But, I got to be grateful for what I do have. And either I sell it or I stick to making a series for you guys of, things you can sublimate. There's, like I said, there's so much. There's more than tumblers, shirts, there's, bottle openers, so much you can offer for like parties or schools, or just even gifts, last minute gifts. If you didn't buy anything, then you just, print something. For us crafters, we do see it as like, oh, it's whatever, something common. But for the regular audience, they really do admire these gifts from the heart, handmade, because you can't find it anywhere. Okay, so I'm just showing you the side angle, how it slipped in. This is the blue one. And again, and the paper, when you're using the napkin, make sure you cover the bottom. See how this took a while for it to pull out. The blue is always, you're always going to struggle with this blue one. I don't think I showed how I skipped the black one, but the black did not print and I had to print purge and do everything all over again. But anyways, I don't want to waste your guys' time and just be showing you, but I left that in there for you guys to see that. Don't skip that part. Okay, clean that off. Don't worry about the ink on the side of your printer. You're going to clean that off really easily, and I'll show you how to do it too. Okay, these wires are very important. They may look tangled, and if they are, then just remove one at a time and go as followed. Don't get frustrated. Remember, once you put that cartridge in, it has to go by itself and make a little click. Don't force it. If you're forcing it, it's going to crack. I know you can see it looks a little rough that I'm using my nails, but I wasn't rough, because if I puncture this, then, the whole machine will be broken. I would have to replace that whole little tube, which I don't know how to do. So, patience, patience, patience. And then you click, I just do this one piece, make sure my plastics is in there properly. Sorry, stuttering. And then once that's snug in there, I don't worry about the other two holes. Just make sure that one's in there and it's gonna hold it tightly. Don't add tape. Don't do nothing. Just make sure that one's in there. And I didn't fast forward this part. I want you guys to see that I myself, it's not at the first one. It's a little maneuvering, struggling, but it's okay. So then when you're gonna close your printer, make sure you're closing it by itself. It has to go in. If you're going to force it, then you're going to break it. That's just how it works. Again, maybe this whole process could have frustrated you. If you need to walk away, go for a walk, wash dishes, do a load of laundry. I don't know, but don't worry about it. Even if there's ink all over the machine, that can be removed. Just take a deep breath. We're almost done. Okay, then you're going to have to do a head cleaning. And I actually thought I took the black part out. So I'm going to show you how it does a head cleaning. And I'm going to go ahead and send the 4-color print purge to see how my colors are looking, rather than just the nozzle maintenance thing. Do a print purge. And I will add the link down below. See how the black didn't print, because I didn't clean it how I cleaned the other ones. And this is your end result, how it looks. So make sure you use gloves as well. So then if you're black or whatever color, if it's been sitting for a long time, I want you to get distilled water and a napkin. And you're going to I folded into 4, but you're just going to put one piece under and then put the print heads over. But in order to do that, your print head needs to move. So go ahead and pretend like you're going to print like a nozzle check, and then it automatically is going to say paper jam because it's open. Don't worry about it. Don't turn it off either, because if you turn it off, it's going to go, the cartridges are going to go back. So leave it on, even if it's blinking that it's saying that it's open. This part, you're going to leave it before you do the power clean. You're gonna leave this overnight. I suggest this overnight. Leave the printer on somewhere where, I have little kids, so I have to put it somewhere where they can't grab it. So just one little sliver of the napkin. Make sure it's distilled water, not your regular faucet water, and make sure it goes over. It's not crunched. See how this didn't go over? So it got crunched up. So when I pulled it out, I wanted to see why it got crunched up. And basically there was just a bunch of ink there. So then I took that out and put another piece and slowly put it over and see how it was able to go over. You're going to want that to be like a blanket under it. See how I'm going to put it kind of in the middle. So there's napkin on one side and I can see napkin on the other side. Therefore, that's just sitting there. You're going to let that overnight. I highly suggest it, or leave it from the morning till, nighttime for you to work on it. And I leave it on. Don't turn it off. If you turn it off, it's going to go right back and it can cram up with the napkin. So let's say you did all that and you finish and it's the next morning or afternoon or whatever. Go get you can use alcohol, but I think that the nail remover from the acetone, it just cleans way better. So now I'm going to do the main print, the power cleaning. This takes at least 11 minutes and it tells you that it takes 12 hours to see a result. So like I said, this is going to take a 24-hour process or even a 2-day thing. Again, patience. We're almost done. I have done this 5 times already. After those 12 hours pass, again, I do it at night and then do it in the afternoon. You're going to hit the printing purge and you want to make sure that all your colors are printed like shown here. Once again, these print purges are free and they are in the description box. Now you're going to do a print head alignment test. And you don't have to use your sublimation paper. I'm using regular paper. That doesn't matter. And go ahead and just read through it, print everything, and you're going to see here. Each row, I want you to make a little arrow of which one is colored fully. There's no lines, there's no patches. So just make a little arrow because you're going to be putting these in the printer because it wants to know which one is printed the best. And I'll show you right here. You're reading it, just, read it, and it's going to tell you how does box number 1, which one looks better, 3. So then you hit OK, and then it's going to tell you row 2, which one looks best, and just change it how you kind of marked it, how I'm showing you here. See how that's 3, so I'm going to not change that one. The next one is 4, so on and so forth. And I'll just be showing you how I choose each and every one. You don't need if you want to fast forward, you can, but you have to do that for all the rows. That's why I suggest with the pen ahead of time, just you put it against the light if you can't see or go somewhere bright and choose whichever one. The arrows is up and down and you're just hitting OK. And if you need to go back, you can always go back. But make sure you're choosing the one like you can see in the image that is fully darkened and there's no lines, there's no patches. And that's how your printer is going to be printing at its highest quality. So there is 2 print alignments. There's the vertical and the horizontal. So do one, and I'm doing the horizontal one. That one is a little different, a little harder to see. They're just rectangles. And I shined it against the sun to see which one was not overlapped because it needs to be on top of each other like seen in the image. And the one that had the less lines, they all had lines, but to me, my soft one was, I believe, 3 or 4. And I just go ahead and click that in there. And that's all. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment if you have any questions. Happy to help.